James Collins Johnson was a beloved figure on the campus of Ivy League Princeton University in the late 1800s. So much so that he's buried in a small, prestigious cemetery alongside the remains of a U.S. president and vice president.
But how did a man born into slavery here on Delmarva end up being the toast of an Ivy League campus? Well, that journey is what Jim Duffy of Secrets of the Eastern Shore is here to tell us about on this Throwback Thursday. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Doing good.
All right, so
I got a good story today.
You always have a good story. Okay, so set the scene for us. Who was this James Collins Johnson?
James Johnson, born 1816 in Talbot County. He's owned by the Wallace family, W-A-L-L-I-S. Early on, they give him away, it's a little distasteful, they give him away as a gift to a young boy, Severn Teakle Wallace. At first, they're playmates, but then they get to a certain age, and Johnson becomes a valet, a manservant, a butler to this person he was gifted to. So fast forward a little bit, 20 years old, Johnson gets married to a woman named Phyllis. She lives in Church Hill, up in Kent County, and he's down in Talbot County. I don't know, that's just it's a long walk.
Sure.
Yes.
She must have been special because that's geographically undesirable, right? One day, Severn Teakle Wallace gives Johnson $5 as his butler and says, go run an errand for me. Johnson takes that $5, walks up to Church Hill, says, Phyllis, I'm out of here. When I settle somewhere, I'll get back to you and we'll get together again. Mm-hmm. Walks to Wilmington. Somehow finagles his way onto a steamship in Wilmington, gets to Philadelphia. Somehow finagles his way onto a train in Philadelphia, gets to Trenton. Walks to Princeton. Why did he pick Princeton? Because that's where he ran out of money.
Okay.
All right? So he settles in Princeton. He's got nothing. He's a man of his word, sends word to Phyllis. They have a young son too, so the two of them come, and now the family. He gets a job at Princeton as a janitor in a very famous building there called Nassau Hall. And he's got to clean up after students in the dorms, and he's got to clean up the outhouses. So at first he becomes kind of an object of ridicule on campus. He has names: Jim Stink, James Odiferous, and they're making fun of him. And at some point in this process, an Eastern Shore student at Princeton from the Eastern Shore recognizes him, lets the Wallace family know that he's here. And all heck breaks loose in Princeton because there's anti-slavery people, there's pro-slavery people. It's kind of a mix. There's like protests in the street. There's so many people want to come to the trial that they have to move it from a courtroom into a hotel. And Johnson's like walking down the street, and people on this side are screaming, and people on that side are screaming. And he is, of course, because he's convicted of this.
Oh, no. Did he have to go back?
A woman named, I'm not sure of the pronunciation, Theodosia Prevost, ponies up $500 to buy him from the Wallace family on the blue after the conviction. It's not clear why she did this. She doesn't seem to have been some big abolitionist. You know, I kind of like wonder sometimes, and my wondering led me to maybe she just met him or met his wife, and Princeton's a small town back then, and decided to do a good deed for him. I mentioned that Johnson is a man of his word. She did not ask, but he spent a long time. He paid back every cent of that $500 to her. And he ended up on campus for 60 years. He left the janitor's job, and he became kind of an entrepreneur, kind of like a food truck, except it would be a food wagon. And he had snacks and lemonade and little small meals and things like that. And he had kind of a special spiked lemonade that was really popular with the students. It was really popular with the students. And he went from this figure of ridicule to this figure that kind of great respect. He seems, like I said, a man of his word, seemed to have had some common sense and just day-to-day wisdom. So when he died in 1902, the students all took up a collection for his gravestone. They called the Student's Friend, it says on his gravestone, and he ends up buried in this very prestigious place. He's a big deal on the Princeton campus today, kind of a revered figure. And so he makes this long journey from enslaved in Talbot County to Jim Stink to a beloved figure in the Ivy League.
That is incredible. And as we just saw there, you can still see his headstone.
You sure can.
Wow. Pretty wild. To walk that distance, too, is really something we can't even imagine.
Exactly.
Jim Duffy, Secrets of the Eastern Shore, as always, thank you for being here.
Thank you.